I weaken your mind. You see, because of chronic alcoholism in Tinu, men seven be I weaken the mind.
And can say,
Sana mekano. Sa on tiasi ya insan yenye numbi, but insan ya damejinu. Yes, onyansa ne niama na oye ne insan ya say in life. Can be obekwa nipa mu no abo ene ntia ya okeka ansem no. Wonkai say Ghana ya fna mahama international community platform so street ye kita no na papers ni bi no. Enam say no abo
kai say ECOWAS meeting answer no ECOWAS chain. No and documents here but mean
because of chronic alcoholism no. I weaken your mind. You see, because of chronic alcoholism in Tinu, men seven be I weaken the mind.
All right, Abuja, this is the debate with Monufie. These, among others, were some of the words are Aboronye DC. You see on current President John Dramani Mahama, Abraye campaign, referring to the president there, or you call insane. Now, our normal Sama Nagin, I say. These, among others, were the words Abronye DC, the OUC, our President John Dramani Mahama. So, this is our NPP ni, and now you're Ghana, and that's a ne Abronye home, Akagramu. Now, I dream on a politics near they are. You need to condemn this. I'm not saying that either the arrest or whatever Abronye is in the right direction. I'm not here to say all those kind of things. All those I have my other reasons on that. But Atemdidia na Abronye digan and penny for no. Ne idea as a Ghana ni bia said what Ghana obiano. You needed a special attention on Abronye. And then I'm going to prove some points to you. So we NPP you know the Abronye criteria. I don't even know why you follow Abronye. It says same bit more Abronye kaya sebi. Ne says nyansa ni bia eka. By ne the Abronye ba quarter remanded no NPP for be the Abronye chi can sembia. We are going to play all those videos. Now, if they actually say they don't even qualify to follow Abronye. It's say Abra Kwame Bafa Abronye started say, oh dear tem. Now NPP as a party issue document to Abronye said there be baby a wokono Kwame oh ya trashe answer Abronye de ma NPP no pantoma pantoma ebuchafo mama yenhye asiye. And then who's a Kwame Bafa Abronye a chain and run, ya the Naba cotton until we have 1 year see you ya a Muna Kwame Bafa Abronye ya caging to say adribia ya the Nikudia got old school park with so near ye Abronye a PF Vanum. All those say a host say Anka Kwame Bafa Abronye 8 year foot to cra maybe Anka won't through this level. Kwame's one tea on your sources to tears related to know. There was nowhere Ubia to make a Kwame as a Kwame to what's an able breaker Kwame iti. Besides Kwame ni nyansa can't get any bia. It's a no video here the Kwame Bafa Abronye EBP our court. Na yenhwe abra e de Kwame Bafa EBP court no. Court gina so say Kwame yemfa Kwame nkosi ne nsa mfa Kwame emra Friday. Ho hu se be ma aye mere kakra. E ba cho yenhwe a bit of this particular video. The Kwame Bafa Abronye ya kanhwe also ntini na ye twene te sesebe adui aye da homa so ni sisi onim za adui emfa homa nto ne kon ye so ni sisi sa na ye Kwame Bafa Abronye no. The police for the Kwame PM court no e na ka che court no say da bi ye nye ade investigation ye Kwame no ye nya nwie say Kwame adidi IGP ni Ghana mpanyifo bi atem enti based on Article Act 29 on Criminal Offences Act, no, ya dia ye de abo Kwame ne say Kwame edidi amount for that attempt section 207 no, offensive conduct conducive to breach of peace ɛno na ɛyɛ taabo a yɛde abɔ Kwame Bafo Abronye nti ma mento boss na menkan ade a ɛhɔ no ɛkyerɛ nipa bebree ɛnam Ghana yɛnim sɛ wodidi atem a ɛyɛ crime. Any person who in any public place or at any public meeting uses threatening, abusive or insultive words or behavior with intent, but the underlying word here is intent, to provoke a breach of the peace or whereby a breach of the peace is likely to be occasioned shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. Nti Kwame Bafo Abronye yenyine atema Kwame didi de enyeme na meka. Na surprisingly the Kwame ko pie quarter and as the police were Kwame on the IGP odin atem no enyo on ye beto say AI. Of course that is a legal argument from he and his legal team. I don't chipe them. I think they are in the right course because by law no you chill on any criminal offense and you want to prove your guilt. But rather no, and you don't have to prove your innocence with the police, but rather no, a prosecution don't have to prove your guilt. Something like that. Meaning say, what question be based on that? I think I will also take my time to address that. Sometimes many people get confused here. Chill to go police station on a criminal offense. When I could defend the there be any way you man no. I was any part of our children and a child idea why now the opposite side of man could also could defend the police station be so Kwame Bafo Abronye and the legal team might be on the right course legally. That is what I believe. Based on my understanding about the law, no, they are on the right track. I don't have any issue with that. Now, after court process, no, Kwame Bafo Abronye lawyer issue, and that's what can say be. If I show intense important Kwame Bafo Abronye lawyer no, okay.
At least as it stands, I'm a bit okay because I've been able to get to know the whereabouts of my client. I think you can all see the stress on my face. For once, we are seeing that legal proceedings are being complied with and then the legal processes are being complied with. The accused person or the suspect, now accused person, was arraigned before the court, and it appears the prosecution would just want him to be remanded. For whatever reason you gave us an invite, we have responded to the invite, and the charges leveled against my client in court were just misdemeanors. They were just misdemeanors. And in law, you would know that, there are categories of offenses. Misdemeanor is the basic one, and that shouldn't be the basis why an accused person should be remanded. But trust me, when it comes to the judiciary, I respect the judiciary so much, particularly this court. I have never had an issue in this court. Whatever my lord says is final. The law lies in the bosom of what? The judge. He has given a ruling that my client should be remanded into custody and brought back to court on the 12th of September. What do we have to do? We will just wait until the 12th of September and then return back to court. But I'm very positive that, the law will take its course. Particularly for this court, I am very, very much certain that the law will take its course.
All right, inti yeda channel 1 for ase. Kwame Bafo Abronye lawyer say yeda misdemeanor and about Kwame Bafo Abronye. Na court see em fani nkosi based on what I understood no. You will court them no prosecution they say document and I say tape na yeda be Kwame Bafo Abronye kwadu no. Omo yan ready. Inti court say omo nkono mko prepare by Friday na omo san fa Kwame Bafo Abronye emra biem. Se ne be ya Kwame so wo defense bi a or the be defended no. But please I seem to have a little bit of problem with how police and prosecutors do their job in the country. Because while invited Kwame Bafo Abronye, while arresting the Nekopi court, Untimis and Kanjam said the simple tape a will be no, won't get the court to her. Basana, 77 Margaret didn't yet there. Oh, sometimes, I'm on one a year, no, some man, you're careful. Obecho be the Nekopi court, over when a court and say Jenny Pano. Now, if they didn't know where in a year, and Mama did not to book. Because a very simple tape, maybe tell me Mahubi, Kwame Bafo Abronye did the IGP attempt. You cannot tell me the whole prosecutor now didn't copy a court on. Oh, you didn't have that. Now the independent copy a court merely because you want to keep him there. Say no, because you machiro will be kakara. That be arrest and tata nipa nipa or country be amo. I'm not defending Kwame Bafo Abronye, but oh yet it's a what a man. Now they arrest and nipa onye minianum. Let's face the fact, and then we need to stop all these kind of things because MY. Now when bibi ade be a court so e wo court ho. After the court no, enkrofo bi tachire e kan sem bi. E equate Kwame Bafabro nye arrest we no to nipa bi to say Kevin Taylor man say for which I don't even understand what they mean by all these kind of people. Me pa jo tie nsema NPP for bi e kan after say yamma Kwame Bafabro nye bail no. Pa jo tie nsem ni ye.
A whole Kevin Taylor, Odidi Otumfuo, Didi Mpenimfuo, he came here and then he went.
You give him protection.
What has he done?
What has he done?
Huh? It is very unfortunate. Kevin Taylor, Ralph went to Ridge Hospital to beat somebody. And because he's at NDC, Omajano. So far as Oka, threatened to kill Afanya Mankin, Omajano. That is one. But you know, power, they say, tables do 10. We'll wait for our 10.
What you say? Mami, Chitty, also why did they arrest him and send there without the tape? I don't even know. Because me say tape na at the country of watching the pen keeping who am the action. So who police ni oba chinipa. Answer na oba chinipa. E say wo wa the crop pot intel the chinipa no. E bia kwa me wa kan di we. E the sam mra we e na e bo as I indicated here no. Emra we e na de bo na say ye koye Ghana ye mamra ni ma ade we na wa yenti na e chew. You need to get all those kind of things ready and send out the nipa na court. But Ghana de na de oba chew de wa court. As now can't the court say fair na me ko prepare the number. No ko keep you be 2 weeks. Meaning say they are using the arrest as the punishment, which is wrong. It's totally wrong. So I don't know what they are doing there. Ebedu ba bi no we am ba chichin krofobia we here te me support him. That's the truth. Because me won't even can't say and some Kwame Bafabro nyaka we are seeing ye nyina me the issue on so many different occasions. Who prosecutor na ko pie court, who see ni sa de ni be fe na court ma kwan, wo say we am 2 weeks. Na fa kope 1 minute tape at the day about na why. David, if that is the case, then you should let Abronye go. Because the money has been behind the body there, woman and call. And then misdemeanor, where I didn't check Kwame Bafabronye, and then what's this particular vamu. Cannot correct. Say police in the power to also you watch a Kwame Bafabronye pa. Well, the Nakotran Kakaka will make Honey Park in 2 days near Bani, you near Ghana, Bani, you near John Mamma, near Sammy Gyamfi, young Kamas, and we are discussing Abronye because of misdemeanor. I didn't say Kureni. Sometimes could I be one to say. But anyway, let's move on. Kwabena Jina Jose, Kevin Taylor did you tune for Atama did you want to Bagana, a Jana Manico. Why time Ben Kevin Taylor Bagana, a Jana Manico? And I called to Ben a chick Kevin Taylor say, what the sour offense of section 207B about Kevin Taylor. People don't read and people are not ready to listen. A judge be obtaining baby say Kevin Taylor cassette and the arrest warrant after Kevin Taylor so. And I Kevin Taylor about Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court I can say Debbie, and now you check Kwame Bafabro ye did not copy court. And the prosecutor and Eko Canasem, and Kwame Bafabro so lawyer Eko Canasem. If at the end of the day, no, say judge and say Kwame would you for condemn and I say to escape we are a different thing from say judge in one ton some freak Kevin Taylor kora. What one hour so make you judgment and the arrest warrant attorney. So that is what Kevin Taylor went to Supreme Court for. People need to read and understand differences. So when people are trying to equate Kenny Jonas, Kevin Taylor, that Ben of suffer as Oka Castle Obekun Obi Ogana. I've said this on countless occasions. As Oka statement to make, there was nowhere he said I'll kill you or see a by election. Is it only death and a by election? And now news a member of parliament now cross the carpet or it by election. And now I'll trollete keke. Some Jai parliament you want to mean Yebima. NPP phones we are there. When the former member of parliament from Cranston North, Nana Martin, a chain Nana Martin on cocaine, our American, he wrote a letter to the Speaker of Parliament then say, well, Jai, young another by election. They went on to a by election. And this I say, if Azoka, bet me convince African Americans, I'm an Jai NPP, I'm NDC. And I said, on actual letter say, many member of parliament, you better by election. Where did Azoka say he's going to kill a minority leader? Oh, people don't read. And people, you people say you are more men, you have the men, but they say men we are more money. I say a concert party men are more. Bobo Kalam Kwana must so mum dimuchi. Because me who Kenyans are sema Kenyans are sema mini wachi, but who can't sema step a substance in him assembly hata. Don't expect me to come and follow you. But here to see and I can say police for ya cha bronye any idea of that bronye it's totally needless. Totally needless. because one thing in case abronya did the IGP attempt to the whole bully over kakaraka way 2 days in there in discussing anything in the country. When name pa John Mama and Sammy Gyamfi we are not discussing it, only discussing abronya. Adding what did the IGP attempt. Ay, madam for mama honey pa against her. EBM akwabin so say na TikTok. Tie nsem on so ka. I say I think say Ghana no. E see so ni nipa bi adwen so na di nyansa ehyem. Ipache uti ono so ne de.
Yes, asagro. Eye chairman abronye Bruno regional chairman. Oye NPP ni no. Ene yesi adne court. Offensive conduct conducive to the breach of the peace. And Ghana mra. Offensive conduct ni nyina say where did you obi atem o ma me ho kan o papa kwasia where Jimmy why you say that is offensive conduct conducive to the breach of the peace. And Ghana Police Service say me no ka say ya omo ye arrangement no na kwa kojina court. Na the court be kan. Now offensive conduct no Ghana laws no the maximum sentence is 6 months and now say you be fine sika and now say you be ma both and now say you can be bonded to be of good behavior. What you say in default, nobody sika the attack and no na man 40 years no say there be offensive conduct obi kodi do be at Ghana mretia na ama Emma Makai and Ano esa a Supreme Court for Ekato honum. Me catch obi aze Sa Kevin Taylor na mwajane say we did attempt or ye normal ni or ye justified no what creative problem can see. You see the outcome. Because oh yeah the end the etia will be a man nya wadwen say any pan na we yet ya ni no na wachana no if is so koto sabo bi kutu.
What else about Kwaneka? A hepot in the Supreme Court judgment in a buy and say a forcer Kevin Taylor, did you be attempting to uncle? Kevin Taylor was never in the Supreme Court. Say, what did you be attempting to uncle? There was nothing like that. As an education, the Ghana for be a lucky. Education, very, very simple thing. Kwabrani or two or so no name say. Section 207 about Bronyano, AO Kinti, say Kevin Taylor. No. There was nowhere in the Supreme Court judgment on Kevin Taylor say, yes, Supreme Court say Kevin Taylor did you be attempt. Da bena wo se Kevin Taylor did otum for atem na ochehene na atema da bena ochehene ko gina court say what the Kevin Taylor court. There's nothing like that. Wow, I don't even know who is educating this kind of fools.
Tunu aswa kacha abwan say sorry yesu go free the so no dey bawo so. Finally and ye dey kwame bafo abronye ebe court. Obetimi akọ prison, it doesn't change anything. And no interest at him the DNA not until say a Ghana Supreme Court or mobile reverting decision now or muteki the man a Kevin Taylor. Because I didn't know will be the dear time I must want to find money. No be the dear time the Amasa Martin the Ghana Police Service. When you said
I said Kwabrane Kasati send you winim nyansano yet not being ever form. Not being what form because on reading and on theater in the corner say now didn't win consult somebody and ask say Kevin Taylor called Supreme Court or no a day report in a day Kevin Taylor called Supreme Court. Kevin Taylor was nowhere in the Supreme Court to be anywhere. Kevin Taylor Gina was say yeah this access in 207 will be what did you be attempt? There was nothing like that. A judge being a thing baby no yes I don't know came to a conclusion and the Supreme Court said that you cannot do that. Give the person fair hearing. To send the neither Abronya Kojina Court, Abronya Canasem, no prosecution, to Canasem, not judge Genetansia. They make decision. That is what Supreme Court actually meant by in Kevin Taylor at the Supreme Court. People need to learn. Masawi NPP ni now again say who support Abronya. Abronya say men kanjero say NPP for moment to control because microphone koramun to be that. Enya Abronya nan kabinim say NPP party say no me useless. Tientima Abronya kanjero mo.
Ohia TV ye NPP dia. Ohia TV can never and will never be MPP station. Enti me Duncan William asem na se moko issue statement say the MPP na kan. You are getting it wrong. You doesn't own even a microphone to even talk about the studio. MPP me mama ti ase na leadership no. Microphone cry you doesn't own a microphone to talk about studio.
Continue.
You have no right to issue a disclaimer. I me program me yawa how. You have no right.
Continue.
Money locals, money any mandate.
Continue.
I will continue to engage Duncan Williams until so be ban right senses. The second meeting, woman besia many they are rejecting and me rejecting today and tomorrow. Woman mo buy so mo me ba be kasa wo office ha. About Duncan Williams, me chase you out. I won't hide it. I won't listen to them. Mintio Masama reject it, and I will reject it tomorrow, today, and tomorrow. Minua Bian Conco Unite.
Continue.
And Obian will bet my jail be spiritually.
Continue.
Wamu is almost run with Cromano. Men dear, they should count me out to say, Duncan Williams means running net, means run or china, namasruno at the chain.
Continue.
It's a no diam catro play, mamma fro ha. Ye muni panimase, Kamayi CCT no, atro some catro say, or no na sem namode badia. A lepati.
Continue.
Mentiani net, and tiani china, namatiana de chain.
Continue.
Na ampi before muntia ni ye. Say yatikru omaimu hano. Duncan Williams onya the head of the Christian community. Ampi before muntia ni ye. Na ye pobi mana ye head of the Christian community in Ghana. Duncan Williams doesn't qualify to be the head of the Christian community in Ghana. Nedikan. And MPP for someone Santias, yes, a money microphone. MPP 8 years microphone, Cramant man Toby. And this MPP leadership, no, it's a shame. MPP 8 years microphone, Cramant man Toby, but him. And this your national programmer among hand system. They have their own machine among Kohan and DC. That is how the NDC will be a serious political party. And this in your program, at the chair MPP by a national conference, on high machines, and this in high machines. And this was studio will be, Mimi studio will be, and this will be. Oh my friend, and this 360. And this is somehow and this. Not so munya baby. Radio station reject even their own members radio stations are more opportunity. And this nankasa set it up. And this 360. Eshedanum. Until anytime bia and this person or mokasano. Obi ya neko. And people microphone kramunibi. Ati me mamati asiye said the leadership no. Muntiana na numere say. Sa onya TV we na nyam pipi dia o. Na mo microphone kramunibi no mabie studio.
So what I say? It is a way NPP ni. Abronye ka kire mso no so otena ohia TV so asem o kana ye ono ankaza na asem. Abronye tena ohia TV so as the regional chairman of NPP, bono regional chairman of NPP ni Abronye. Edi atem Fred Duncan Williams am roba na nsem bebre na NPP etwiro krata. Abronye nti etu delegation ko hu Abronye o ka kire omo se otini studio wa e ono ankaza ne dia. Asem bi o ka bia na e ono anasem enye NPP o se microphone kura sai na mu ni bi. The leadership, you are useless people. Mama compare this way, and this is far better than you. And the next, I brought you continue here TV so can't the police for China and people from where they are. And people so many years because he told them already say he doesn't own them and they don't even owe him. And the studio no one they have nothing to do with it. Let me tell you, Assembly Mekabiano, I am responsible for it. And the sign I brought you and people say anything he says and does on Ohia TV no. And he is ready to face it. My NPP ni bi ansi ho because enye won na we ase bi aka. Enti na we NPP ni wasa lie say it's a power sesa wo be bibi. Wo to opposition ka kire obi say power sesa wo be punish obi. Na we dey ba power no. Say na o ma power there. Na power na be sesa ma wa be you bibi. This is common sense. People need to learn all these kind of things. Because the way NPP ni nipa na tnetim peace we can just say ade a wo ye no onemo tonkwanta ma fighting tone time. Muni hwe ka. Now so the same programs you could nyasema now was a lie say who could dear them say Kevin Taylor ye biada na yachi Kevin Taylor azoka ye biada na also adweno hata e former na mukaka kan ansem no. They need to learn because people are not learning. Because I want to now kwabrane kan say boyin nature nonsense so could nature. I'm not saying say we down for now ye dey kwa ngudi nature. That's fair. But when we say NPP as a party in any abro nyachi because he told them already say adina oye no. Anyway, therefore, this is the debate with the Bunufi. So when the Mama me no one, subscribe mame na yenko yenim. Ibe video be actually. Na ye bisa basic questions from Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo. They said these kind of things to Ghanaians. Let's watch this particular video.
This dredging, cleaning up is going to take about 6 months to complete this one. Then the Kwale Lagoon itself will take a longer time because that's where we have more composition of material, which needs to take a longer time, maybe about a year or two to finish. We're going to have recreational facilities. That is the sea outfall. So along we have recreational facilities, other infrastructure, we can have some hotels will come at the end, and this makes the whole place. Then we're dredging all the way through Cycle to Kwale Lagoon, where we call the Clep Interceptor. From there, we end up at the estuary into the sea. Before the commencement of the work, this is how the situation was. The channels were heavily silted. Along the channel, you can see very heavy siltation. So this is the beginning. Then during the process of the dredging, we had these situations. Gradually, we came up to the end. Then finally, this is the stage that we have reached. And then after that, there was a continuation to carry out the silting, because as we progress, more silt come, and you have to continue.
So here video ya former president Nana Ado Akufo-Addo ene kwogina simpie so ka kire say omo be ye recreational facilities bi ewo Ghana ye capital center on Kwale Lagoon ho. The pacho ekwesi saying a very basic question, and we share Nana Ado Akufo-Addo. You ask him, because he told us all these kind of things. I was the NPP party, no. They came onto power with Azane Nada Nkwanti. Niema bebre wa they confused themselves. Say omo ene ka kire ye. We are timamania. Sometimes the moment you for politicians and the for man got on 7 no. The miss all questions say, what can I say? So be say, what can we say? I could say. But over Queen near here. When President John Dramani Mama appointed Sammy Gyamfi or the Juma DB Eshe Samensa. The Aquaco Bisa Sammy say, what did you my dear no? And how did you my dear because another don't go for them no. Azane Nada no Mada no. Are you going to repeat the same thing or not? Ntiene program bi ekoso Emma Sammy Gyamfi abrantepa enantie ye tonsa frɛ no as GoldBod for panyi se omra no mekere aban na ema ne position no edin poten ena oye ena ehe ena ono Sammy Gyamfi etibe pagya Ghana no ede akodu. Now before we get there no, as part of Sammy's the message no, Sammy can send you ho eba me akwakuti Sammy. Yeah, analyze everything that he said, because on this particular channel we analyze people based on things they say and do. Some say, I mean, we now follow the argument here. Or say pension schemes, they should invest pension funds into gold value chain for productive returns. Some Gyamfi akachire fund managers because we are Ghana Jumaini or pensioner. Sikana demand isha. Enti mama ye invest sa fund no into gold value chain a bit mama in large returns ama ye de aboa man no. We will come back to this particular statement, but before we do that no, my hear Sammy Gyamfi ni ntie nsema Sammy Gyamfi e kan at that particular time, but you take your time and listen to Sammy Gyamfi here.
The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Yusuf Suleimana, captains of industry herein seated, colleague, government officials, chief executive officers, highly esteemed invited guests, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I didn't hear your response. Good morning to you all. Good. It is a distinct honor to address you at this crucial convention as we exchange ideas on the growth and transformation of Ghana's fast-evolving minerals and mining sector. First, permit me to commend the organizers of this program, led by my good friend and brother, Baba Sadiq Abdullahi, for the tireless efforts in putting together this program. I think he deserves a round of applause from all of us. The African continent boasts of 30% of the world's known mineral reserves. Minerals constitute 70% of Africa's exports and 28% of Africa's GDP. These staggering statistics beg the questions: why do hunger, poverty, and underdevelopment persist in Africa? Why does our beautiful and heavily endowed continent remain peripheral in mineral wealth creation? The answer to these questions lie in our failure as a people to adequately leverage our natural resources for the advancement of our economies and the prosperity of our people. I am, however, excited to note that right here in Ghana, Africa's leading exporter of gold presently, we are resetting and rewriting this narrative. Under the vision and leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we are committed to optimizing national benefits from the exploitation and trading of our natural resources for the development of our country and the well-being of our citizens. This vision is anchored on the novel Ghana GoldBod, a strategic institution whose mandate is to streamline the gold trade sector and optimize returns from the exploitation and trading of Ghana's precious minerals for socio-economic transformation. Through the innovative GoldBod, we are setting national sovereignty over our mineral wealth and introducing a paradigm shift from raw extraction to value retention. As part of its core mandate, the GoldBod oversees, regulates, and participates directly in the gold value chain as relates to artisanal and small-scale mining, to assaying, trading, value addition, and export. The Ghana GoldBod holds exclusive rights to purchase and export all artisanal small-scale mining gold produced in Ghana, including the right to purchase a portion or all of all gold produced by large-scale mining companies. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at the GoldBod, we've been doing more than business as usual. Since our inception, the GoldBod has initiated aggressive licensing reforms to promote responsible sourcing of gold and other precious minerals, strengthened regulatory controls and oversight over the gold supply chain, introduced a transparent and competitive pricing system for licensed miners and licensed gold buyers, deployed robust aggregation systems to effectively mop up gold from all mining regions and districts of the country, removed major incentives for gold smuggling, such as the scrapping of the 1.5% withholding tax on unprocessed small-scale gold, and intensified the fight against illegal gold trading and smuggling through the establishment of the GoldBod task force with reward for whistleblowers. These preliminary measures, ladies and gentlemen, have begun to pay off already, as they have led to record high gold exports, both in volume and value this year. Since January up to the end of August 2025, small-scale gold exports undertaken by or through the GoldBod, working closely with the Bank of Ghana, have hit a record high of 66.7 tons, with an export value of approximately 6.3 billion United States dollars. What this means is that the volume and value of small-scale gold exports from January to August 2025 alone have exceeded the total small-scale gold export outing for the whole of the year 2024. That is from January to December, which stood at 63 tons with a value of about 4.6 billion United States dollars. It is also instructive to note that the small-scale gold exports continue to surpass those from the large-scale mining sector, which stood at 65.1 tons with an estimated value of approximately 5.6 billion United States dollars for the period between January and August 2025. In line with our objects of supporting gold reserve accumulation by the Bank of Ghana, the GoldBod has initiated the local purchase of 20% of the gold output of 7 large-scale mining companies in the country. So far, we have locally purchased and supplied to the Bank of Ghana nearly 100 kilograms of large-scale gold to augment the gold reserves of the country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, foreign exchange accumulation from gold exports this year, particularly from ASM sector, have been unprecedented. These much-needed forex inflows have significantly strengthened Ghana's reserves, improved our balance of payments, and provided critical support for the Ghana cedi. These early successes underline the strategic role of the Ghana GoldBod to Ghana's long-term development and prosperity. As was publicly stated by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama a few months ago, the Ghana GoldBod is still in the preparatory stages of fully deploying its operational mandate, and significant untapped potential remains. But more than just the numbers, ladies and gentlemen, we at the GoldBod are proving something powerful, which is that African-born corporations can lead globally, not merely follow. These milestones that I've outlined are not ours alone to celebrate. They symbolize what Africa can achieve when we combine resource wealth with bold thinking. Beyond foreign exchange and contribution to revenue, the GoldBod is committed to traceability, environmental sustainability, and responsible sourcing, in line with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development OECD guidelines and international best practices. As directed by His Excellency the President of the Republic, the GoldBod will, before the end of this year, introduce and commence the implementation of a nationwide traceability system, which will ensure that every gram of gold purchased by the GoldBod can be traced back to its verified, licensed, and environmentally compliant mine of origin. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to also underscore the commitment of the GoldBod to government's avowed fight against the illegal mining menace. We at GoldBod recognize the importance of responsible mining and sourcing to the long-term sustainability and viability of Ghana's mining sector. To this end, the GoldBod will next week donate to and an amount of 5 million Ghana cedis to support the work of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operation Secretariat, NIMOS. And I know the Deputy Minister will be very happy to hear this. Also, in line with the instructions of His Excellency the President, and in furtherance of our ecological restoration policy, the GoldBod has made significant financial allocation to support the reclamation of 1,000 hectares of devastated forest reserves starting from November this year. Our corporate social responsibility policy, which we intend to roll out effective October 2025, we shall support mining communities with portable water systems, modern education and health facilities, scholarships for brilliant but needy students, among others. We are further committed to supporting the cooperative mining scheme launched by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and aimed at formalizing the artisanal small-scale mining sector while creating jobs and increasing national gold output. My brothers and sisters, I strongly believe that the time to maximize gold production and optimize national benefit is now, given the current unprecedented favorable international market conditions for gold. But this cannot happen without the needed financing for the value chain. Sadly, current financing models for mining in Ghana are too conservative, We need African capital structures to provide bold but practical financing solutions for the minerals and mining sector to maximize production and optimize recovery, particularly in this time of record high international gold prices. At the GoldBod, we are determined to sustainably increase Ghana's gold output and develop the country's gold supply chain responsibly from the country's heartland to global vaults, empowering communities while delivering sustainable and transformational returns. This is why we have launched the Mining Support Program with the aim of leveraging our mandate to attract direct investments into mining, particularly for the procurement of environmentally friendly mining equipment to optimize production and recovery for the maximization of national benefits. On 22nd August 2025, the GoldBod signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Goldstream Global DMCC. This MOU would eventually transform into a commercial agreement by November 2025 for the investment of up to $1 billion in establishing over 300 responsible mines in blocked out mineralized areas and in partnership with concession owners. Under this program, the GoldBod will be collaborating with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and its allied agencies like the Minerals Commission to develop minerals areas, as well as partner with concession owners and communities to maximize Ghana's gold output through sustainable mining. As I've already indicated, this crucial mining support program will increase national gold output and create thousands of jobs in the mining ecosystem for the teeming unemployed youth of our country. Already, the Minerals Commission has released 10 blocked out mineralized areas to the GoldBod for this program and has further pledged to release more in the coming weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, establishing the presence of mineral resources through proper geological investigations is a critical first step to maximizing Ghana's huge and untapped mineral wealth. However, this demands substantial and often risky capital. At the GoldBod, we are partnering with the Ghana Geological Survey Authority and private geological companies to invest in geological investigations and develop a robust geological data repository for sustainable mining. This will provide mining with credible geological data, reduce environmental degradation, and improve mining yields. Our mission for doing this is simple: move the artisanal small-scale mining sector from the phenomenon of, quote, lottery mining, unquote, and I know people understand what lottery mining is, to certainty through accurate geological data to guarantee returns and de-risk investments. The financial sector must not remain a passive observer. We therefore invite local financial institutions to partner with us in crafting innovative funding models for geological investigations. President Mahamad's government is ready to shape policy that compensates strategic partners who invest early and help unlock long-term mutual returns. Additionally, Ghana's extractive sector, particularly the ASM sector, requires innovative financing structures to drive liquidity for miners and local traders to ensure sustainable gold supplies to the GoldBod. The GoldBod remains open to engage and transform with willing financial partners. Brothers and sisters, for far too long, we have ceded equipment financing and rentals for miners, especially ASM miners, to foreign entrepreneurs who have no regard for our water bodies and forest reserves. Our current policy interventions to weed out illegal gold traders and miners is effectively weeding out these irresponsible foreign equipment financiers. This undoubtedly creates a financing gap for small-scale mining and an opportunity to transform the sector through sustainable financing by responsible financiers. As a country, we must create export credit facilities for funding mining equipment and structure mining focus on lending to equip local banks to fund mining production. We must be bold, we must be urgent, and we must move now to optimize opportunities in our minerals and mining sector for mutual benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, let me cite this example for us to ponder over. As you may be aware, Ghana's primary pension fund yields almost negative real returns due to investments in unproductive ventures. Foreign pension funds, however, invest profitably in mining. Why not reorient our pension strategy as a country toward gold, a time-tested asset and a better hedge against inflation? Why can't we establish locally managed and globally viable equity and debt funds to catalyze mining investments? Before I conclude, let me touch on the most critical issue of value addition to Ghana's minerals wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a national shame that as a long-standing continental leader in gold production, Ghana continues to export Dory, that is raw gold, instead of bullion. The Ghana GoldBod, which I lead, is determined to change this narrative as a matter of urgency. As part of the research agenda of President Mahama, the GoldBod, in conjunction with the Bank of Ghana, is partnering local refineries such as the Gold Coast Refinery to begin the local refining of gold purchased and exported by the GoldBod. And this will begin next month, October 2025. Let me at this stage commend the Chamber of Mines for expressing their willingness to work with us to ensure the local refining of gold produced by large-scale mining firms in the country. The GoldBod will continue to drive innovation. And in this regard, ladies and gentlemen, we have secured a parcel of land at the cargo village at the Kotoka International Airport to build an ultramodern ISO-certified assay laboratory with the aim of changing Ghana's assay regime from SRF and water density to the golden standard of assay, fire assay, for all gold, both small scale and large scale, produced in or exported from Ghana. I'm happy to inform you that on that same parcel of land secured by the GoldBod, we will be building a wholly state-owned and international standard gold refinery to further advance the local refining of gold, transitioning Ghana from the export of Dory to bullion. Plans are also underway, ladies and gentlemen, to develop strategic partnerships to establish a gold village in the nature of the gold souk of Dubai in Ghana, envisaged as a continental hub for gold jewelry and ornament production. But, brothers and sisters, this dream will elude us without a critical partnership of financial institutions for value-adding investments, particularly in the area of refining, minting, and the fabrication of minerals into jewelry, coins, tablets, and other forms of castings and store of value. I wish to remind all of us in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, that by 2030, Africa will be home to over 370 million young people aged 15 to 35. Unemployment rates are alarming, not because our youth lack talent and the desire to work, but because our systems lack vision. We cannot solve today's crisis with yesterday's tools. The minerals and mining sector must do more than the traditional extraction we are accustomed to. We must shift from raw exports to incontinent beneficiation, move from rent-seeking middlemen to decentralized tech-enabled trade models, and change from youth as laborers to youth as innovators, financiers, and owners. This is not a plea for aid. It's a declaration. Africa is ready to transform. So today, I challenge every government official, financier, corporation, an individual in this room. Let African minerals build African futures. Let our natural reserves fuel innovation, not corruption. Let our youth lead global trade and not just participate. Ghana is resetting. Africa is rising. The GoldBod is ready. All we need now is courage and capital. Let us fund the minerals and mining sector differently and work together to transform it. And let us make Ghana, Africa, and the world a better place. Thank you very much for your attention.
All right. Nti Sammy Gyamfi no. I say the message in Sammy this is very straightforward message, but I think say we need to take our time as a people and then understand what Sammy meant by a lot of things, because Sammy is creating jobs. And to assign an MOU with an agency or may invest here, which is going to create more jobs for the youth. Because according to Sammy Gyamfi, which we all know, this is a data African Union is unemployment and the largest problem or the major problem on the continent. The teeming youth are unemployed and they have nothing to do. But we have all these gold reserves sitting beneath us, and then foreigners and a strategy and they are making a lot of money out of it. Whilst we are the people, we are not getting anything out of it. Do you believe and trust Sammy Gyamfi will be to my say? Sammy say or Barbie shares a Ghana, you better find a younger say gold. Yes, you two gold now near the co. Then we established a gold village to say similar to what Dubai for with gold souk. No, I have been there before and I know how the gold souk was. So Sammy say if you're gonna establish a gold village in Ghana like that, I was like, this is creativity. And these are the reasons why President John Dramani Mahama reposed with confidence in the YouTube people. No, say let's come together and then welcome all these kind of ideas and then encourage Sammy Gyamfi to be productive enough. Because according to Sameno, the resources we shouldn't use it only as corruption, but rather to invest in the youth. Senegal also will become managers and investors in our own affairs. Let's pray Sammy Gyamfi na fide yemmo adenso nko. Enti abusan for ene me debesi wa asem komo bi ene hobim there. I'll end it here today. Na nyame ya adoma wo chena. Meno asen ba bisia. Me din ene William Monofie amankona. This is the debate with Monofie. And this be anywhere with me bisa media. I think say I'm gonna end it here today. Na ochina masanya ba nyankopon any wuntana. Unya subscribe to the channel as well. So take your time and then subscribe for me. With me like it, share as well. I'll also be very, very happy with that. Nyankopon kanye na ye ho. Bye bye. Bia bi no bi ma ye besan aka biem. Bye bye.